We lost the health, we got it back. Now in your laps you have a paper called Taking Responsibility. We're going to go over very quickly the understanding of the lifestyle that it's going to take. And in regard to what I'm going to say, please remember and consider that this is to get rid of chronic degenerative disease. Now, by the way, it'll also get rid of a cold and flu. But it will get rid of chronic degenerative disease. Now, for those folks that would like to really do a job for themselves, really start taking care of yourself, and you want to get rid of chronic degenerative disease in a hastened amount of time, give me a call. I will direct you to a clinic where you can do a supervised fast. And the idea on that is you will have MDs watch over you as the body does what it normally does. Every animal on the planet does it. It will allow itself to rest and allow the body to throw all the junk out. Now that's what I did for 26 days, but I really knew what I was doing. You don't want to do this on your own unless you really study it and understand it. Science will say that in 5 or 6 days you're supposed to die because of the fact you'll get ketones, which produce ketosis, which is a normal understanding of what occurs when we start to die. But science, again, has not carried the whole ball. It hasn't gone through the whole understanding of what's occurring. That eventually goes away. So for those folks that would like to get tremendous assistance, give me a call. I'll direct you to a clinic. You have a conversation with those particular practitioners, and they're beautiful people. So what we're going to do now is go through these lifestyle ideas, and the first one is exercise. I know you're always waiting for me to say that. The most important thing to do for the human body is to move it, to move it. The average person stops exercising between 12 and 16 years old. The thing I'm saying is we have got to exercise to accomplish one thing, to make the pump pump. Boom, 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 boom. I bet that's great on that mic. Boom, boom, boom. Now, why do we have to make the pump pump? To pump the hemoglobin, the red blood cell, which is, by the way, a carrier. It's a truck. It's a train that carries all the oxygen and all the nutrition to every cell of the body. Now, all the cells are going to get fed. I'm talking about 75 to 100 trillion with a T. That's a lot of stop-off points. Now, we will have all of that particular beautiful nutrition now given to the cell. And by the way, for those folks who have cold hands and cold feet and brains that don't work, the nutrition isn't getting there, folks. But we will now absolutely allow all the cells to be fed. And for those folks that haven't exercised in 50 years, consider this idea. Start walking for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30, 60 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20. Start walking longer, faster, longer, faster. Two things hopefully are going to occur. Hopefully you're going to sweat. That's the fluids moving fluids. And then when you become uncomfortable, which is when the fluids are pushing fluids, you want to stop right at that moment. We don't want to go through any pain. Just keep listening to the body. And keep going like this and keep improving and keep allowing that transportation system to work. Now, if you are not doing an exercise eventually that has to do with a reversal of gravity, like jogging or jump rope or riding a horse, I want you to do one major thing because it's very important. We have now delivered the nutrition and the oxygen to the cell. The cell has used it, and it's excreting it outside of its body, out of its cellular body. The problem here is that is going to go into, the majority, into lymph fluid, which is in lymph tissue. And that lymph is supposed to take it all out of the body. Well, folks, we got a huge problem here. The lymph doesn't have a pump. How are we going to get it out? Well, no one's working that hard. No one's certainly exercising that hard. What do? You know that little 3-foot trampoline you got, and you said, what do I use with this? Or what do I use this for? It's the second best piece of equipment in your life. Please make sure you go back and get it. And I want you to go and not jump on it. I want you to go on the mat, and I want you to start going up and down. And after every reversal, vroom, vroom, of energy, reversal of gravity, the lymph is going to start to move. When you're going like this, your lymph is going to literally move like crazy. Please start utilizing that trampoline up to 10 minutes after you exercise. Now, what have you done? The exercise with the heart pounding is going to feed the cell. The reversal of gravity relative to the trampoline is going to start moving the lymph, and it's going to take the stuff out of the body. Is everyone with me on this? Good. Now, next idea in regard to the lymph, because this lymph is a very, very important situation. I want you to start doing deep breathing. And I'll show you what we're talking about here. I want you to start from the bottom of the diaphragm all the way up to the top. And tonight we're just going to go through just watching me do it a couple times. You want to put the pot and stick it out like you don't want it to look. You got me? The idea here is you are going to make it so we fill up down here all the way to the top. Now watch. Now I'm filled up all the way to the top. You want to lift the shoulders up, allow the tops of the lungs to fill up with that particular air, and amazing things will happen in regard to the nodes in your breast area, which are lymph nodes, which will really start moving that lymph. That is number 2 in regard to what you can do for the lymph system. And number 3 is extremely beneficial. We could talk about this for hours. I'm not going to get too much into sex tonight, but I want you to consider loving another person enough so you can touch them. And the thing I'd like to have you do is I want you to give them a massage. Now, why in the world would I want you to give them a massage? So you can get one. Right? You know how the world works? Okay? It's supposed to work that way. The idea here is we're going to go and literally move that lymph like crazy. If you can't find someone else to love, love yourself. There's hardly a place on your body that you can't touch. Start moving your lymph system. Now, with the trampoline, with deep breathing, and with massage, and by the way, massage is one of the finest treats in the universe. Please do it. Please find someone to share that with. Now we have magic occurring. What magic? We now have the pump feeding the cell. And now we have the excretion, the used food, coming out of the cell and going out of the body. Folks, that's magic. That is the start of getting all your health back. Now we're talking about feeding and excreting. We're talking about literally mechanical flow. What were we talking about in regard to losing our health? Blocking the flow. Now we have flow moving mechanically, objectively, and ultimately that will allow the energy to start to flow. So now that is the first major thing we have to do. Next idea is 2 other types of exercise. One would be yoga. And by the way, on the back of your sheets, on the second reference book, is The Ancient Secret of the Fountain of Youth. I suggest greatly you get that book. You twirl, you build it up to 21 times in a clockwise manner, and then you'll do 4 other exercises, and when you twirl like a dervish, you will bring energies into the body like crazy. It's just a vortex motion. And we totally understand what vortexing does now. You'll have all this energy in the body, and then you do 4 other techniques which literally make that energy go through all of the glandular bodies in your upper head and chest. Pineal, pituitary, thalamus, hypothalamus, thyroid, and thymus. And it will kickstart all of those glandular bodies. Now they've come alive. So please consider that yoga. And the other thing is when the body literally does some fluid movement to assist itself in rebalancing its own energies, some of us call it Tai Chi. If you are attracted to that, please do it. The first time I ever did that was with a crazy old, wonderful, beautiful man by the name of Ram Dass. I learned how to do a little Tai Chi with Ram Dass. He showed me how to walk 10 feet, and it took me 20 minutes to walk 10 feet. First time I had heard my body in a long time talking to me.